जाना चाहिए। सो जो भी कहानियां बताई जाती है श्रीमद् भागवतम में, ये पुराण है, जस्ट लाइक द हिस्ट्री व्हाट वी रीड इन दी इन आवर सिलेबस व्हेन वी डू आवर एजुकेशन। सो वी क्यों क्यों पुराण बताया जाता है when you are educating? So the purpose is that you learn from the history that what were the things that has gone wrong, or what were the things that were done right, and learn from it. So similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam has chosen, Srimad Bhagavatam में चुनी गई है जो कहानी है, वक्त का कहानियों है, उसको चुनकर उसमें लिखा है वेद व्यास ने। So that we actually take advantage of it and then understand what is our real purpose of life. So that is why a lot of histories are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So every story, whenever जब भी हम पढ़ते हैं श्रीमद् भागवतम में, एक एक कहानी में उसका अंदर जाके देखना है कि क्या है इसमें विषय जो मुझे उठाना है, क्या नहीं उठाना है. So what is that message that actually Prabhupada is trying to give, or Vyasdev is trying to give, or Lord is trying to give? Just we have to meditate on that story and then think about it. So Lord within our heart will help us to reveal that essence of it. So now today's story is about Yayati. So this is basically about how one can actually stop his material attachment. So let me give a small introduction about King Yayati. So Yayati एक बहुत बड़ी महाराज थे. तो ये यहाँ ययाति है जो एक्चुअली पुरु का पिता थे, और पुरु फ्रॉम द डायनेस्टी ऑफ पुरु ओनली भरत महाराज आए थे, और फ्रॉम देयर ओनली लाइक ऑल द पांडवास, Kauravas, all it came. So the existence of Mahabharat story actually comes from Yayati. Even Lord Krishna appears in the Yadu dynasty. It's actually connected to Yayati only. So the sons of Yayati. So Yayati was a great king, and one day when he was actually traveling into forest, parallelly there was two girls like Devayani. Devayani is actually the daughter of Shukracharya. So देवयानी और उसका दोस्त सभी मिलके एक फॉरेस्ट में जा रहे थे. सो उस फॉरेस्ट में जब देवयानी जा रही थी तो उसका बहुत श्रेष्ठ मित्र सुश्रुता भी उसका साथ आ रही थी. सो जब वो फॉरेस्ट में एंटर हो गए तो लाइक दे वर एक्चुअली सीइंग फॉर अ नाइस प्लेस सम स्ट्रीम्स. So then they saw the stream, they wanted to enjoy it. So they went into that stream, and like Devayani and Shushruta, they started enjoying in the waters of the forest. So suddenly they saw that Lord Shiva and Parvati were actually appeared there, and they were traveling in front of the forest, and then when in the place where they were actually enjoying. So immediately all the women present over there who were enjoying there, immediately they tried to cover their body with whatever clothes that was available. But Shushruta, instead of taking her cloth, she actually took the cloth of Devayani and covered herself. So this actually brought a lot of anger onto Devayani. So बहुत गुस्सा हो गई देवयानी को कि सुश्रुता अपना कपड़े ले लिया और उसको यवमान सहना पड़ा. So immediately the argument started between the Devayani and Sushruta. See, both friends, how they were actually came to enjoy. Immediately one incident started fighting. So immediately Sushruta pushed Devayani, and then Devayani actually fell into a well. So when Devayani fell into a well, parallelly I was saying Yayati was actually in the forest looking for some hunting, just like a king goes for the forest for hunting. So similarly, Yayati also went in search for hunting so that he gets some pleasure there. And when he went there, he actually saw that Devayani there, who is actually who was actually asking for help in the well. And immediately Yayati, as a king, immediately helped her to come out of the well, and then he gave her all the clothes so that she could cover herself. So Devayani was very much impressed with Yayati, and immediately she actually asked Yayati that I am actually a Brahmini girl. I am the daughter of Shukracharya. So I'm very much impressed with you, and I want to marry you. So even though I am a Brahmin girl, generally it is not allowed for a higher caste girl to marry a lower caste. Like King Yayati was a Kshatriya, even though he was a Kshatriya, she was Brahmin. It was not actually allowed during that time. So it was allowed the other way, though. So, but still, Devayani proposed her, and she said that because I have one curse given to me, so it is that curse also says that I would actually have to marry a lower caste person. So I actually very much impressed with you, so I want to marry you. मुझे आपसे शादी करना ही है. So immediately, yeah, since Yayati was attracted to Devayani, he also agreed to marry her. And Shukracharya, so then Devayani went back to Shukracharya. She informed her all that had happened and how she wanted to marry Yayati. The moment Shukracharya heard about this, he immediately became anger with Shruda, and then immediately he went in search of Shruda's father. So when Shukracharya was going to meet Shruda's father, Shruda's father came to know that Shukracharya is approaching him, and immediately he became aware that if I don't take any step now, Shukracharya will definitely curse me. So immediately when Shukracharya approached Shruda's father, he immediately fell onto his feet, and then he asked for forgiveness for what had happened, and then he said, oh Brahmana, please don't curse me for whatever wrong that has happened because of my daughter. I will ensure that my daughter actually comes as a maid servant to your daughter, and then she will always serve her. So that's what actually the promise Shruda's father, and immediately Shukracharya was also pleased. So this is one way we can know how to please the angers of persons. When persons are angry, it is better to submissively surrender to them, and then somehow submissively cool down their anger. So that's what actually Shruda's father did also. And then Shukracharya then decided to do the marriage with Yayati. Devayani and Yayati got married. Parallelly, Shruda was sent as a maid servant, but Shukracharya was aware that these kings are actually used to actually enjoy the women in their association. So he told Yayati that ensure that this girl, Shruda, is actually kept as a maid servant, and then don't take any opportunity to have any kind of relationship with her. So if you do that, then you are actually going to be a person to be sacrificed for my anger. So he said that, and he said. But what happened was, after Yayati took Devayani to her palace, Devayani gave birth to nice children, and then after that, Shruda got actually got envious with that, and then she also wanted to have children from Yayati. So immediately she approached the king Yayati one day, very in a secluded place, and then she proposed that you should actually give me an opportunity to create a progeny of yours, these things. So as a king, he was bound to, whenever somebody approaches like that, he is bound to give that. So he had no other option but actually to have relationship with Shruda, and then create progeny for Shruda. So after this incident happened, immediately Devayani took the notice of this incident, and she became very angry and went back to Shukracharya. So after Yayati tried to convince her, but she was not getting convinced. Immediately she went to Shukracharya, and Shukracharya became very angry. Even after me telling this, you have actually done this. So I am now going to curse you. You will become an old man. It is because you are engaged, you want to enter this sense gratification. So now I will curse you that you become an old aged person, and then immediately curses him, and then Yayati becomes an old person. Immediately Yayati asks for forgiveness, and then he says that I was actually forced into the situation. Now you please actually, I am still eager to enjoy this material world. How can you make me a older age? I will not be able to enjoy this material world. So please give me my youth back. He actually asks Shukracharya. Then Shukracharya for a moment thinks that if I make this person old, even my daughter Devayani might suffer. So what shall I do? Then he thinks for a moment, and then he says, okay, if you want to actually come out of this curse, then I will give you one option. That is that you give this old age to any of your sons, and then or any young person, and then whoever is willing to give that youth to you, you approach such person and give this old age to them, and then actually take back your youth. So then immediately Yayati was relieved, and he actually went in search of his sons. He had 6 sons, so 3 from Devayani and 3 from Shushruta. So immediately approached first the sons of Devayani, but all the sons of Devayani rejected, saying that we are here to enjoy this material opulence. How can we actually give our youth? If this youth is not there, then we cannot enjoy this. So what is the point in then? That so nobody was willing to give their youth to their father. And at last, Yayati approached the last son. And then that last son was actually very obedient to his father. He said that's the duty of the son to obey the father. So I will take your old age. So you give me your old age, and then I will give your youth. So Yayati was very happy, and then he gave his old age to his son, and then he received the became young. And then after he became young, he started enjoying this life with Devayani. So he was enjoying his sense gratification for almost 1,000 years. And then after 1,000 years, he started feeling a pinch that although I am trying to enjoy materially, I am not getting satisfied. I'm not getting completely satisfied. It is like a fire. I was saying last time, like this, it's like a fire. This fire is not getting extinguished also. It is burning more and more and more and more. Still after 1,000 years, I am not getting pleased. What is this? Am I really enjoying? Am I really doing the real purpose of life? What has happened to me? He started thinking. So then he understood that the real ananda or real enjoyment is actually not to gratify the senses, but to take the shelter of the Lord and engage in the service of the Lord. This he was able to analyze, and then he actually spoke to Devayani, and then he actually narrates his own story in the form of 2 goats, he goat and she goat, he in the form of Yayati, she in the form of Devayani. And he narrates his own story to Devayani, and then tells how it is very important to actually take the shelter of the Lord and to serve the real purpose of life. Because this material desires and material enjoyment will not give us any kind of satisfaction. So we have to somewhere put a full stop for this. So he was able to understand this and was able to give up his grahastha ashrama, and then he went back to his son Puru, who so obediently took his old age, and then said that please take your youth. I am giving your youth back, and you give me that old age. And he accepted that old age and actually took the varnashrama dharma, went to forest in a secluded place and started meditating at the lotus feet of the Lord and achieved the lotus feet of the Lord. So from the story of Yayati, what we have to understand is this, that this material desire, no matter how much you feed it, it will ask more and more and more only. It cannot be satiated. There is no satiation of this. But one should know that through stories that we should actually not actually anchor for more and more and more of material desires, but somewhere we should stop our material desires, and our desires should be dovetailed towards the service of the Lord, because that is our constitutional position. ये हमारा मूलभूत उद्देश्य है जीवन का. सो भगवान का सेवा करना, इसीलिए हम इस जगत में है. सो लॉर्ड सेज मम एव अंशा जीवलोका जीवभूता सनातना. We are all part and parcels of Lord. Why we are part and parcels of Lord? Because Lord created us to serve him. So that is why we are part and parcels of Lord. And Lord doesn't want to enjoy himself. He wants somebody to be part of him. Then only he can actually nourish the spiritual the relishment. And the ultimate love of Krishna is or the service to Krishna is presented by Radharani, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Radharani has come here and presented to us. So we are very fortunate to be part of this movement, to understand the love of what is love of God, and because in this love of God only we will be able to nourish our activities. And we are living force. We cannot put full stop to our activities. So we should nourish our activities, but our activities should be dovetailed towards the devotional service of the Lord. So that should be our goal. We should just transform our path and then change our from the goals of material desires to the prayers of asking for pure devotional services to the Lord. So our desires should be such that we should pray to the Lord that, oh Lord, I am actually suffering here in this material world, seeking for temporary material pleasures. Please give me your unalloyed, pure devotional service. I want that. Somehow I'm not able to do that in this material world, but you can actually give me. You, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can give me. So if our prayers are such intense, then Lord will actually hear our prayers and then he can help us come out of this situation of material entanglement. If you want to try, if you try yourself to come out of material entanglement, it is very, very, very difficult. Just like Yayati, he had 1,000 years at least to relish it, but we don't have so much time. Okay, I'll stop here in the interest of time. Hare Krishna. Thank you for patience.